Hi, class. This is Emily.
And this is Wanda Lynn.
I'm Wanda Lynn.
We are here to tell you about the insurgencies occurring in Colombia for over half a century.
To do this, we decided to tell you about it in a way that we thought might be easier to relate to.
And more fun! This is a serious issue in Colombia, and by no means do we want to disrespect or undervalue the struggles that they have gone through. However, we do
want to spread awareness of what's happening in Colombia,
but don't
want you to read a bunch of these,
like I did, or pull one of these during our presentation. There are two major sides of the conflict plaguing Colombia.
1, the government.
2, insurgent groups such as FARC.
I will be representing the views of the government,
while I will be representing the views of rebel groups such as FARC. Review.
Government.
Rebel.
Government.
FARC.
We are from Colombia.
Our country has one of the highest rates of displaced people and homicides in the world.
This is because of them. We are unhappy!
This is the condition that our country is in and resort to drastic measures trying to resolve them.
I am the government, and I've been running this country for over half a century. Since this time, we have been ruling for the upper class and been working to keep other groups out of the political system. We have consistently had conservative and liberal rule since 1948. What?
Hey, FARC here. Peter Ross. FARC stands for... That's Spanish. In English, it stands for Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia. But we'll stick to the abbreviation FARC.
The FARC has been terrorizing our people and trying to ruin our government system for no legitimate purpose.
We are a combat force that developed for political reasons. Our government was triggered by the civil war that broke out during the 1948 elections called La Violencia.
La Violencia? La Violencia had occurred before our government was united. It started with the assassination of liberal leader Jorge Eliezer Gaitán Ayala. This led to a dispute between the now allied conservative and liberal parties.
Dispute? It was a civil war between the conservatives and liberals, killing over 200,000 people, many of whom had little to no play in politics.
What resulted was a strong government system. The liberals and conservatives eventually came together to form a party called the National Front that has held dominance in Colombia's democratic system. We're called a democracy, and America's on our side, so we have to be good, right?
Some democracy. The two parties have alternated leadership every 4 years and have used violence and exclusion to silence all other diverse political groups. I, along with my other independent republic homies, joined together under communist leadership. Here, I'm going to flash a map. We thought that culturally diverse needs and geographically isolated parts of the country were being ignored.
In 1965, we had taken over FARC leadership.
So we were like, we gotta go to the east side.
The country is often described as Dos Colombias. The west side being the productive forces and the government, east side being the savannah and the jungles. We didn't think much of them since they lived in the jungles, only dealt with them when we had to. But little did we know that they would turn into a powerful terrorist group. Dun, dun, dun.
Terrorists? No, I wouldn't say that we're terrorists. Colombia is a dangerous place for those who want to advance left-wing solutions. We believe that our democracy is flawed, and our goal is to achieve a pluralistic political system with free elections and democratic army control. So no, I wouldn't say that we're terrorists.
Terrorists have created a combat force that has committed countless of human rights violations and demonstrations that have killed thousands of our people.
Yeah, but in earlier attempts to form a party to mobilize the masses, 600 to 2,000 FARC members were killed. So me and my bud,
Manuel Marulanda Valles,
also known as
Tiro Fijo,
needed to find a way to liberate the masses. Okay, so only a small percentage of the masses wanted to be liberated, and most were in favor of the elite democracy in place. But we had to do something. Okay, so we were in the savannah jungle. You know how much money that can be made off of coke production? Yeah,
guerrilla army grew from 2,000 fighters and 14 fronts to an army of 15,000 to 20,000 and 60 fronts, creating a militia comparable to our security forces.
Thanks, America. Today, 90% of the cocaine that you consume comes from Colombia. The Medellin cartel alone set to earn up to $4 billion a year.
To control drug flow into our country, the U.S. has joined us in our war on terror and drugs. They have contributed $6 billion to the Colombian government. Gracias!
But dude, in this war on terror, the U.S. and Colombian government have committed various human rights violations.
We used aerial fumigation over coca fields to decrease the amount of cocaine production.
I was at my auntie's house and even her banana crops were fumigated. Aerial fumigation, meaning less precision. The fumigation affects other crops, water flow, children, adults, the elderly, forcing people to be displaced off their land. How can the government allow this? In addition, they commit human rights violations much like we do. Civilians get caught in our crossfires.
The paramilitary is responsible for massacres, disappearances, torture, and forced displacement of citizens and insurgency members. We have no connection to them.
Well, the U.S. State Department shows connections between the paramilitary and military through intelligence, aid, training, and communication.
We need to be forceful. FARC is notorious for drug trading, assassinations, kidnapping, and extortion. So y'all need to hide your kids, hide your wife, and hide your husband because they're sparking everybody up here. What can we do to make this end?
Roll change. Perhaps the groups can create a demilitarized zone where they can enter into negotiations.
Oh wait, we tried that.
The zone was within the heart of the country, within easy striking distance of the capital and other major targets. Immediately, FARC violated the agreement, using the zone as a base for coca production, recruiting, and aircraft, where it launched repeated attacks against the government. Venezuela recognizes FARC as a combat force with a political cause, suggesting that they claim belligerency so that they can receive aid from other countries. However, regarding how they have treated relations with the government, this sounds like a very scary thought. Some experts suggest to give some political power to other groups, which sounds promising as long as FARC respects their powers and does not take advantage. Personally, I think that the U.S. could actually create a significant change in the conflict at hand. As both sides are profiting from America, FARC through drug trade, and the government through financial and military aid. If America invests more in their drug rehabilitation programs, then the finance from FARC will be significantly reduced and FARC would not have the resources to fight. In addition, if the U.S. decided to sever ties with Colombia until they cleaned up their act regarding human rights violations, then violence on both sides would be decreased, reducing the urgency of the situation. Ta-da!